massive wagwan. Andrew Robinson, your Jamaican brother there. Reaching out to all the massive on the African continent. And you're tuning into the Pan-African Show with your host, not other than Joby, from Monday to Friday. Stay tuned. Andrew Robinson.
Bringing communities together around the world. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
It's in the brown what you say. Kama hujapendwa, kama hujaumizwa, hujatendwa, mapenzi sio bidhaa dukanunue, anayetoa ndo anayepawa. Penzi lako ni moto, nobody can love me better. I need your love. Penzi lako ni moto, nobody can love me better. I need you. Lasso Jamila, tumeshibana, ananielewa, ninamwelewa. Lasso Jamila, tumeshibana, ananielewa, ninamwelewa. Jamila, it's a Jamila, Jamila, it's a Jamila. I'm out there down and I play straight to you. I'm all you need, don't go search. Been to hell, now we back, look where we are. Yeah. This kind of love, no be bye-bye. I'm in love, like it when you play silly. I'm in love, out of the league. Toto and I'm on the always wanna hit the road with me, wanna be with me. Guess who's feeling you me? Girl, this loving me real. It's just being military. Guess who's sticking with me? Settle infinity. Finish me, I'm finity. Never leaving me, never sticking with me, ever. Basically, I'm a never.
And I just can't believe you, Kenyans. You just booed this guy during the weekend. I just can't believe any of you. I just can't believe you. Yani, if there's a country that is so unpredictable, I think it's 254 in Africa. Like, I just can't believe you guys. You just booed Otile Brown on stage yesterday. I can't believe you. But anyway, karibuni sana family. Hope you guys are doing amazing. Happy new month. Happy new week. Hope you guys are feeling blessed. Hope you guys are literally looking forward to amazing things coming your way this amazing month. I hope you have literally down all the affirmations, manifestations, everything that you want to come your way this amazing particular month. Karibuni sana once again. This is the Pan-African Bliss Show, how we get to do it every Monday to Friday. And my name is Joby. And for those who are here right with us on the first time, karibuni sana. Kindly do remember to follow us in case you are on Facebook. Do subscribe and of course check out our amazing previous content, our amazing previous, shows and see what we are all about. We have amazing things lined up for you, and of course check out and you learn something. I promise you that, and you love also the vibes right there. Karibuni sana once again, and shout out to everyone with me on TikTok. Shout out to Freedom Media. Shout out to Samuel. to you too. I saw your greetings earlier. Hope you're doing amazing. Hope Isamzuri. Hope you had a beautiful, beautiful time during the weekend. Mine was fantastic. I can't complain. I was just chilling, nothing less, nothing more. And of course, I'm ready for the new month. I'm ready for the week. I'm feeling literally very, very amazing. I don't know about you, but I want to welcome you to today's conversation where we shall be discussing literally about the African continent in general, where it is a continent labeled of hope, yet very wealthy. And when we talk about the wealth, I'll be sharing a couple of videos coming from Professor Lumumba. And this I was to share last week, but I said I'm not going to share it, but I feel like I want to share it because of one of the videos that I'll also be sharing, which talks about one of the plans that are rather agendas that are set for Africa. And we know most of these agendas is one of the agendas that most of our African leaders have literally signed into, like the Africa Climate Summit, which was held here in Kenya. That was last year. And we know what this is all about. We're talking about carbon emission. We've seen some of the countries like, was it Uganda? Yeah, I think it was Uganda. No, it was Rwanda, which said that actually they're looking forward to not cut down trees. And I was like, this is something amazing when Africans we realize we do not need to cut down trees if it's not for any major uses, like constructions or any sort of use, firewood. Which I said personally, I don't feel like you need to cut down trees to get firewood. There's so many different ways or different type of trees that do produce firewood, and you don't need to cut down trees. That is according to me. But we know that we saw Rwanda talking about carbon emission. Kenya has also spoken about the same, and a lot of African countries have been influenced to join the same summit. Apart from Uganda, which we know Museveni never attended, we shall be talking about that, and also we shall be checking about the Chibok girls who were kidnapped. That was in 2014, whose parents even up to date are still worried. We know recently Nigeria, we had a mass kidnapping that we had 280 children, students, and also women who were kidnapped, and we saw 137 being released, which still poses a question how this happened. The gang leader said is not involved, and all that. And speaking of the gang leader, talk about Haiti, which I did share a poster on Friday night, and I was like, how did I miss that? Where we saw Barbecue say that anyone who comes in Haiti in the name of police or in the name of troops shall not be considered as part of anything. They shall be barbecued for real. So that is what we shall be talking about. So karibuni sana, and welcome to today's conversation. I'll be getting back to the jam and to the music, which I began with Otile Brown, and I'm so heartbroken to see Kenyans did boo Otile Brown yesterday. You guys are so disrespectful. You guys are literally lacking respect. Otile Brown, I'm so certain there's so many of you who get so heartbroken, and immediately you go to that Otile Brown songs, especially with Jovial. You're like, Zara, come on, shame on you. And then you're the same people want to give people flowers once they're dead. The same thing you've done to Brian Chira and so many people I see y'all doing. That was so bad, that was so disrespectful, but we shall be talking about much more of that later on today on the Rhythm Scoop Show. And to join us later, I did share a message on the WhatsApp, so kindly join us later on the Rhythm Scoop Show. We have something amazing to tell you, some important news, so kindly do remember to tune in. But back to the music. This is by the one and only Caleb Singer, and I hope you guys get to enjoy this. This is Girls Love Me, and I'll be coming back with the quote of the day. I hope you feel loved during this amazing month.
And Weezy on the beat.
Them know that I'm the baddest boy. Yeah, we clap and now, so we give them what. They can be big boy, but we the illest come, so we give them good vibes, things till they drop. Oh, they wanna sing my song. Some of them fools that when we show them do. Sing, who's got the keys to my demon? Who am I? Tell me, darling, sugar cane, money, fresh money, no time feel like the money. Girls, them a love me, boys, them a know me. You can't run me, rest, but sit down and watch me. That is what they call me, call me. The guys love me, that's for sure, man, I know. Everywhere I go, they wanna sing my song. Man, a bad man, and they go fit take it, though. The guys love me, that's for sure, man, I know. Everywhere I go, they wanna sing my song. Man, a bad man, and they go fit take it, though. They go fit take it, up, 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 up. If you had this, Chico, I'm a Dorcas. If I take mistake, nation, I'm a soldier. Make it bang, like the mighty king come.
Cinderella Mama. Yes, my quote of today says, may every day of this month bring you everlasting joy. May every week bring you unending happiness. And may this month bring you an abundance of blessings and love. Happy new month, family. Man, I'm feeling personally very, very amazing. Some spark in me is just sparking. And it just feels good. I'm ready for the month, yo. I'm ready for the week. Ready for the shows. Ready for the audience.
That's for sure, man. I know
what you're ready for.
They wanna sing my song. Man, a bad man, and they go fit take it up. They go fit take it up.
Yes, that is Caleb Singer with Girls Love Me. And I hope you guys are enjoying jamming onto that amazing banger over there. He's really talented. Shout out to him, wherever he is. 32 minutes past the top of the hour. And shout out to me on Facebook, on YouTube, on the radio station. Hope you guys are getting me loud and clear. And karibuni sana. In case this is your first time right here, this is the Black Hot Fire Network radio station, media of the 21st century. We do this every Monday to Friday from 12:30 to 1:30. Sometimes I may run a little bit late because a girl got a little good. But anyway, karibuni sana. Hope you guys are doing great. Hope your weekend was fantastic. Hope you did spend time with your loved ones, with your family and friends. Mine was chilled. I can't complain, but I'm ready for the week and I'm ready for the month. But I see Ghost in the building. Shout out to user 22 in the building. John, diaspora in the building. Shout out to Chief Bernard in the building. Hope you guys are doing great. Hope mmekuwa na weekend fiti na cheki Ghost uko na complaints mingi. Relax manze. Unasema ulisema sikulenga. Hata nikudanganye. Man, I forgot if I was supposed to literally go out during the weekend, like completely. I forgot, okay? I just forgot, okay? I just nilisahau. Mambo yangu haikuendana vizuri. That was especially on Saturday. Time yangu ikupatana, ilizilipitana tu hivi. So I'm really, really sorry. I had to rest. But anyway, we shall talk and I shall literally WhatsApp you. I sure will. And I also see you saying that it's my kind of shout out to also Derry too. Karibu sana. Hope you guys are doing great. And to ever me on these other networks, Karibuni sana. First and foremost, before I start my show, I'd love to ask those who have not joined us officially on our network kindly to do so. And you can do that kindly going to your Chrome page, or rather, searching for Black Hot Fire Network. That is under the www.blackhotfirenetwork.com. Especially for those who are actually iPhone users, you cannot be able to find us on Apple Store. So for Android users, you can join us through downloading our app, which takes you very easily to our website, and which our website has so much to offer. We do have amazing merchandise, remember. So in case you want t-shirts, you want some hoodies, you want some mugs, we have handbags, ladies, for people like Sister Michelle, Sister Angela, Sister Dana was with us right here on Friday. You get to purchase amazing things, and you can also get it also with your name, maybe in terms of a logo. You don't need to have it as a Black Hot Fire Network. You can maybe get it in your own logo, or rather in your own name, whatever you like. But also we do have amazing things under our shop page that is on the Black Hot Fire Network store. And under our categories, we have amazing home appliances. We have sportswear and entertainment wear. We have gifts and crafts. We have bags and suitcases. So in case you're looking forward to travel to Africa, check out the Black Hot Fire Network store. Check out some amazing store suitcases and do purchase there. And karibu sana, we're here to translate anything you'd like, especially in terms of Swahili. Speaking of Swahili, I hope you guys did enjoy the Saturday show with Spikes. I hope so. You guys did enjoy the Saturday show with Spikes. Spikes was here on Saturday, and he brought an amazing show for 2 hours. Was with you guys for 2 hours. I saw people like Jiba Jabba, KW Don in the building. Keith was there in the building. We had amazing people. All Gerald Mosquito, Sister Michelle, our normal audience. I saw all of you there, and I hope you guys did learn a word or two. As you come here, actually, you should come and greet me or say some Swahili word that you learned on Saturday. You should not just come here blank. Come with a word that you learned on Saturday, one or two that you learned there, because it really taught a lot for 2 hours. Was a lot of time, or rather a lot of quite a period for you to capture a thing or two. But anyway, as we get started straight to what is happening today, I want to start with, of course, what is happening in Nigeria, which has been a topic that we've been discussing very lately. And we know that Nigeria has been suffering the matters of insecurity, or rather security in the country, which has been very, very bad. Tinubu has not done anything. We saw the chief defense who came and said that the reason why Nigeria is increasing is because of climate change. And because of ethnicity, which personally I said I do support, because if you try to look at Nigeria, which is a video I want to share about Professor Lumumba, which he talks about it, how we are divided, how we have different codes. I did hint on it last week, but I didn't want to share it, but I think I'm going to share it today and on today's conversation. If you talk about ethnicity clashes in most of the African countries, rather where we've seen people killing each other in Africa, this has become actually a norm. In parts like South Sudan, that has been happening. In some parts, like in the northern parts of Kenya, it has been very, very active. In also parts of the western Kenya, it is also very, very active, where we have ethnical clashes, and you find that one or two people end up dying out of all of this. And majority of the cases you find is always because of kettles, just they're either fighting because of kettles, or majority it's because of the kettles. But in the case of Nigeria, where we're talking about mass abduction, we're not talking about one person, two people, three people, we're talking about hundreds, 280 people being kidnapped in the last month. We saw a lot of mass kidnapping happening. 137 people were the ones released. But we go back to history, where we remember the Chibok girls. I know majority of you know the story. And we saw that was in 2022, early 2022, and early actually 2021. Early 2022 or early 2021, we had a group of the Chibok girls who were released. And they came back with babies. They came back pregnant. Others came back as mothers. Others came back, just all grown the same way they left. And most even lost traces of their family and friends. And they are trying to start all over again, because they don't know where their people are. And mind you, when you have a community raided by, there's lack of peace in a community or in a society or in a country, there's always people always moving from one place to another, like what we've been seeing in Congo, the displacement of the people from one place to another. So if I was kidnapped, let's say 10 years ago, and the community that I was kidnapped from has been raided to the point where they have to move from there to somewhere else, then it's going to be so hard for me to trace back where I really originate from, because it no longer exists. And this is all because of oil. We know that is why this is happening in Nigeria. But back to history. We have the Nigerian Chibok girls, and we have some parents who are still worried about their release, and still hold those who hope that this is going to happen. And if this was to happen, I believe, again, if you take me to the AU, if it was a working organization, it's something that should have been dealt with by all the African leaders, starting from Nigeria, Niger, Burkina Faso, Mali, and all that. But we've been seeing, like right now, with the three democratic countries that are trying to fight jihadists, being actually fought and being labeled. We saw on Friday, the show we had here was so amazing, where we saw that Mali is being labeled, no, Russia is being labeled to be killing civilians in Mali. And we see Russia helping Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, not the other way around that we read on Friday. So the same situation with Nigeria. If this was to help, if this was something that, when you talk about African solutions, African problems, African solutions being applied there, this is what we need to be used. This is the method. This is why we applied the method. but it is not going to be applied because it's a white supremacy-led continent. But they're saying 10 years after Boko Haram gunmen abducted his daughter from her school in the Nigerian town of Chibok, Yama Balloon feels as if he has lost once again. His daughter Jakai Yama was one of 276 girls kidnapped from the secondary school in the hours of 14th April 2014 by the Islamist fighters. 57 of them escaped shortly afterwards, and then between 2016 2018, an additional of 108 were either rescued by the military or released through negotiation. 91 others remain missing, but Mrs. Yama is one of the 20th Chibok girls rescued over the last 2 years from Boko Haram hideouts in Sambisa Forest in northern East Borno State. That is an epic center of the 15-year insurgency. But the father has been outraged to discover that, like some other recently freed women, she has decided to remain married to one of the fighters who once held her captive. These couples now reside in the city of Maiduguri, Bokono City, which is 78 miles away from the northern part of remote town of Chibok, in a housing organized by the state governor, Bangana Uzuma Zulum. And she says, I am not happy with what the governor did. And the girls managed to come out of the forest, and the governor married them off again. Her mother is very angry. Well, so number one, and this is something, you remember, this takes us back to when we discovered, let me see if I can find that article, because I keep on talking about it, but I remember I read this was in 2022 again, where we saw when Buhari was president, we had some students who were kidnapped, some girls who were kidnapped where Buhari was actually on a vacation. And the number one question is where our president is, and we know very well our puppets. We know very well the kind of, backup they always have wherever they are going. How is it that the security of where you're going is very, very, it's not that tight to the point where girls are kidnapped where you are? So this tells us a lot that even these politicians are involved in all this. That is what we're getting from here. But let's continue. He found out when his daughter called him up to tell him last August and handed over the phone, asking him to talk to the husband over the former insurgent. Until then, Mr. Balloon had assumed she was in other freed Chibok captives and had 3 children in a special welfare program. Like a number of the Chibok parents, Mr. Balloon is disturbed by what seems to be the Nigerian governor's approval of marriages between their rescued daughters and the men who abducted them. So this is a business going on. This is not even a matter. It's a matter of where first people have been kidnapped, been displaced from their own communities. One, because of oil, because majority of those regions do actually have oil or gold. We know Africa, we are blessed with so many resources, different resources. But this is about oil. And this is like a business going on between the Islamist groups who are very well funded, very well paid to disturb the community, and the governors. And then we're talking about governors who are very greedy. Not only do they steal from their people through taxes, steal from the money they borrow from the IMF, the World Bank, and then end up even stealing. Oh my God, this is so crazy. So all along, we've been having politicians working with the Islamist group. This is what we're literally understanding so far. All of them, even the freed ones. And this is what I'm saying. If this is something that should have been dealt with from the beginning, where we've been seeing cases of abduction, mass abduction in Nigeria rising, if it's something that should have been dealt with, if they wanted to deal with it, and if we had the true working AU, it's something that should have been dealt with from the word go. But this is a business going on, and we're dealing with a corrupt country. People claim to have power when they have, or they're amongst their people, but in real sense, there's nothing. This is such a shame, man. This is such a shame. And this is why I'm saying the African continent has been labeled a continent of hope. We're so hopeful, and that is all we know, and so prayerful. Not me though. We're so hopeful and very prayerful. We tend to focus on so much of the prayers and forget the reality of what is really attacking us. You can't keep on closing your eyes. You need to open your eyes because reality is really eating you. I can't. I'm tired of closing my eyes personally. I'm tired. I don't want to do that. Shout out to Pirawan Karibu Sana. Thank you so much for in. And I hope umekuwa na weekend poa. Nice to see you back right here with us. Shout out to also K Williams. Good morning you, or rather to you. Good afternoon from my end. And thank you so much for tuning in as well. How was your weekend? How did you spend your weekend? And happy new month. What are you looking forward to this new month? Personally, I'm looking to so much amazing positive things. And I want to see how it's going to unfold itself and all that. But moving on is about DRC Congo, where we can see that there's 2 armed groups in DRC Congo that pledged to better, that they want to protect the community. And it is crazy. We've seen the UN, we've seen all of this, so many fake groups claiming how they want to protect the civilians. But let us look at this one. They're saying under a crystal calendar in a hall where a first Geneva Convention was signed in the mid-19th century, representatives of 2 armed groups in Congo signed a solemn pledge that was on Tuesday to do better in respecting and protecting civilians, with several Western diplomats looking on, which is a red flag, we know. With several Western diplomats looking on, the envoys made commitments that their forces will work to end sexual violence, food insecurity, and conditions of famine, and to ensure greater access to healthcare in parts of the increasingly violent Eastern Congo that they operate in and control. That is a lie. Shout out to you, Macha, in the building. Shout out to Mother in the building. Shout out to Domi in the building. Karibuni sana, you guys. Hope you're doing amazing. And hope you had a beautiful weekend. This is a lie, okay? This is a lie. This is a red flag. We're talking about the Western diplomats. Which Western diplomats? Not West Africa. It's Western. We're not talking about Ibrahim Traore. We're not talking about Tiani. We're not talking about the Mali junta. We're talking about some Western diplomats. That is a big red flag to Africa. And we know the same Western diplomats are the same people funding war in Congo. The same Western diplomats are the same. We have 7 point something million of people displaced in DRC Congo. The same Western diplomats are the same reason why people in South Sudan are not in peace. The same Western diplomats are the same people collecting data of Africa and making use of it for their own benefits. You know, what else about the Western diplomats? I mean, you know, they mean well for Africa, don't they? I mean, that's what they say at least, and that's what we've taken, that's what we've bought. But no. So I don't know who is part of signing this, but let's continue. The ceremony took place on Tuesday at City Hall in Geneva, a Swiss city that's reputed for international bent and home to the International Red Cross, culminates years of work and the humanitarian group Geneva Call, which works to protect civilians in conflict zone. This is just all BS. Africa's second largest country has seen a recent upsurge in insecurity and its mineral-rich east and territorial gains by the M23 rebel. The question is, why won't they tell us who really funds the M23 rebels? You know, the funny thing is, they always want to label and put the blame on M23 rebel. Fine. We know the M23 rebel are very active there. But can you let us know, please, how the M23 rebel gets the weapons? Can we try go around that? Is it Kagame? Is it Museveni? Or is it the same Western diplomats who want to help and, help solve peace? Because if it's the same people, then you should not be giving us any information. Number one, we don't need you involved in our matters. We don't need you involved in our matters. So it's the M23 rebel group that allegedly linked to neighboring Rwanda. And the area has been riddled by conflict for decades, linked to more than 120 armed groups who are fighting for land and power in some cases, protecting their communities. Come on. This has nothing to do with even power. This is all about resources. The powerful ones are the ones funding and literally grabbing the land so that they can dig the resources out. Have you seen? I always wonder if there's a country that is going to take time again. Personally, I don't know if you guys feel the same, but I always look at Congo today, DRC Congo, and how they really, let us pull up an image of it. DRC Congo mining sites. DRC Congo mining sites. Like if you try to look at this country, it really looks, oh my God. If I really feel for these people, being honest. This is the country that is going to take so many years to recover. I mean, as much as it's continuously rich, the land is really destroyed. I mean, look at this. They have funded all the equipment, everything they can use to dig deep down and get and extract resources. These are our people on those mining sites, which you know majority of them even end up dying in these sites. I remember there's a time a country, like I can't remember, it was in 2022 or 2021 we gave that report, and it was Spikes actually giving the report, and we had a debate about it, and personally I was very happy. I can't remember Ghana or which country. It was supposed to come with a safety method of especially helping our people when they are in these mining sites, which can literally ring an alarm in case there is a landscape that's supposed to be happening, like, you know, anything that's supposed to be happening, it will ring an alarm very quickly, and it will be easy to evacuate people from such kind of dangers or save them earlier before the danger. So I don't know what happened, because I remember there's some funds which are actually set aside for that. I think it was Ghana. I can't remember the whole thing, but I do recall us reporting that. And that was because in so many African countries, people are dying. After all these mines end up collapsing, like, you know, and they end up being trapped there. But again, back to where I feel this is a country that is going to take decades. Even if Africa, we're going to acquire the freedom we want, it's going to take time to literally make all this up. I mean, we have enough land, you know, for people to be able to live through. If you try to take back the lands that are, which is the highest percentage, that are owned by the foreigners, that are owned and grabbed by politicians, it is actually very big. So we should not even be worried about this. There's plenty than what they have destroyed. But at the same time, it is quite a big damage. It is quite a big damage. This is how Africa should be looking. This is how we should be looking. But unfortunately, this is our people here. It is so crazy. But let me share a video by Professor Lumumba very quickly. But before that, I want to share this from coming from this white man over here who talks about our resources. And all of these agendas and deals that have been signed by our puppet leaders, which I said again, it's going to be a big problem for Africa. But I believe it is possible because it's just papers, you know, it's just papers. But there's so many deals and traps that are the African countries and the continent itself has been put in that I don't know how we're going to escape. But it is possible. I don't want to say it is.
Let's take a big picture look at what's going on here. Over the next decade, 2 decades, it is expected that there will be $150 billion worth of oil and gas extracted off your coast. It's an extraordinary figure, but think of it in practical terms. That means, according to many experts, more than 2 billion tons of carbon emissions will come from your seabed from those reserves and be released.
So they're saying oil is bad for climate change. Since when? Let's start there. Oil is bad for climate change, but let's continue.
Into the atmosphere. I don't know if you, as a head of state, went to the COP
Let me
in
stop
Dubai.
you right there. Let me stop you right there. Do you know that Guyana has a forest forever that is the size of England and Scotland combined? A forest that stores 19.5 gigatons of carbon, a forest that we have kept alive, a forest that we have kept alive.
Does that give you the right?
No,
Does
no,
that
no, no.
give you the right to release all of this carbon?
Does that give you the right to lecture us on climate change? I am going to lecture you on climate change because we have kept this forest alive that stores 19.5 gigatons of carbon that you enjoy, that the world enjoy, that you don't pay us for, that you don't value, that you don't see a value in, that the people of Guyana has kept alive. Guess what? We have the lowest deforestation rate in the world. And guess what? Even with our greatest exploration of the oil and gas resource we have now, we will still be net zero. Guyana will still be net zero. With all our exploration,
a couple of
we'll
points.
Still be net zero.
Powerful words, Mr. President. But a couple...
I am not completed as yet. I am not finished as yet. I am just not finished as yet. Because this is a hypocrisy that exists in the world. The world in the last 50 years has lost 65% of all its biodiversity. We have kept our biodiversity. Are you valuing it? Are you ready to pay for it? When is the developed world going to pay for it? Or are you in the pockets? Are you in the pockets of those who have damaged the environment? Are you in the pockets? Are you and your system in the pockets of those who destroy the environment through the industry?
Of course, they are in the pockets of those who damaged the environment.
Industrial revolution and now lecturing us. Are you in their pockets? Are you paid by them? Are you paid to
all right, Mr. President. Let's take a big picture look at what's going on here over the next.
So that's a video. That's the first video I wanted to share them. So this is after the Caribbean nation. We can see Guyana. They have discovered oil, and now they're saying oil is bad for climate. They have been extracting carbon, which is another mission that they want to do in most of the African countries for their own benefits, to destroy humanity and all that. But let me share this about Professor Lumumba, because he said something. And Africans, it's a high time we realize this, you know. But I don't know till when we're going to keep on singing the same song, because it's a song we keep on singing about unity. Just said the other day on Friday, when we had 6 Kenyans who were killed by Al-Shabaab on Friday. That was on Friday evening. I reported that we had 6 Kenyans who were killed by Al-Shabaab on Friday. And the question posed by media was, they don't know how those Kenyans got there, because apparently Kenya and Somali had closed their border in 2015. And my question is, I don't see a wall. So you expect me not to cross somewhere or not to walk my path on to literally just end my destination where they claim there's a border assumed, but there's no wall to literally make me see there's a border. It's high time Africa we realize that we have no borders. All this is just fake, made up terms. And the same terms is the same terms being used when it comes to hope. We are a continent again termed of hope. I mean, look at how many organizations are literally in Africa funding, helping the African people in the continent. You know, it is such a shame, and I'm sorry to say this, I'm so sorry, but during the weekend, I was having a chat with some few people, and I happened to meet a few people. And among these few people I met, it was a Black American man. And he asked me, where are you from? I told him I'm from Kenya. Asked him, where are you from? He told me where he's from. He was from, I think, Louisiana, something like that. South Louisiana, if I'm not wrong, if I can remember clearly. So he asked me, what do you do? And what I do. So he asked me, what do we talk about? I told him we talk about Black people-related problems, especially politically, historically, day-to-day politics, you know, keeping people updated about what is happening. And this Black man, who looks quite very aged, not really aged, but someone who's in his mid-age, was like, those, you talk about boring stuff, you know? Those are boring stuff. And I was like, I really laughed, being honest. I first laughed, and I was like, wait, we talk about, those are boring stuff to you? I mean, wait, have you been to Africa? He said, no. So you've not been to Africa. But you think I'm talking about boring stuff? Well, I know so much about you. I know about your day-to-day run life. He was like, nah, I run my life. I run my life. Nobody runs me. You know, like, stop acting stupid. You know what I'm talking about? You know where you are, you have the white supremacy literally knocking down your ass. So don't act like you don't know what is happening. Stop acting stupid. And he said no. He runs his life, and that is it. And what I picked from that is that we have actually, and that is what actually Professor Lumumba is going to be talking about here, and what I'm trying to say. Africa, we need to stop acting stupid. What I picked from that is that we have so many, apparently, we have so many Black people who are not willing to talk and not ready to listen to what, especially their history. Sadly, I didn't know, maybe it's a bunch or group of Black Americans, but some of the people I met during the weekend, like, nah, they don't want to talk about their history. They don't want to talk about politics. They think that is boring stuff. And understand, I'm not shocked, because I think Kit has been telling me here, we have a bunch of morons. And that made a lot of sense. But it's a high time we stop being morons, because being ignorant and acting stupid is getting us in trouble. It's giving the rest of the world the privilege to run and rule and run the world. Let me share this very quickly.
What is Pan-Africanist about the legal profession? There are three streams of legal profession that you see in Africa. There is the continental civil law system, which is unique to the French system, has elements of it in the former Portuguese colony, the single former Spanish colony called Napoleon, derived from that tradition. That is the civil law system. And we say gleefully, we now are in our legal system independent, complete with how they dress, like Father Christmas. Then you have the common law system, which is derived from the law, the reception date, 12th of August, 1897, when we received the common law, and we are very happy about it. And even in Ghana, you can still see how your judges dress, Father Christmas and now Mother Christmas.
It's all the judges.
Speakers.
It's all the judges. It's all the judges that still dress up like that. I mean, it's all the judges. And it's even worse when we saw a South African judge being bribed by a wig. That's how bad it is. You're not only wearing a white man's wig, but you end up even being bribed now by a wig. I mean, how dumb can you be?
Common law. Then when you go south, then other tradition is Dutch Roman. So what is Pan-African about all these? Nothing Pan-African about all these. And we say that African customary law is only applicable to the extent that it is not repugnant to justice and morality. Whose morality we do not say, but we know. So you can see how that kind of training does not allow you to have a Pan-Africanist view and a Pan-Africanist concept of justice. When we come to land tenure systems, here in Ghana, for example, you had land tenure systems in the different communities. You are now being told that we have imported a system of land tenure system from Torrent system in Australia to be applied here. You can now begin to see, and I say this because it is contemporary, even as I speak. I remember a case that was tried in Tanzania by a West African, I think he's Guyanese, Telford Georges. He was then the Chief Justice of Tanzania immediately after independence. And a Tanzanian man was charged with the offense of bigamy. And the offense, of course, when you are found guilty, you are then jailed, because the law said that marriage is the union of one man and one woman to the exclusion of all others. But then Telford George said, but in traditional African societies, marriage is the union of one man and all women. So he was saying that the mores of the society is different. So why do you criminalize? That was his argument. And you can see that these are extant issues about Pan-Africanism. How do you deal with people in that regard? And the most recent, those of you who come from Rwanda during the post-genocide, the Gacaca. The Gacaca jurisprudence is rich. How many people were rehabilitated through Gacaca? Hundreds of thousands. How many people has the Rwanda tribunal in Arusha tried? Not more than 10. And recently, Felicien Kabuga has no responsibility. Another one is arrested. How many years the genocide? Can they go back into their societies? They cannot go back. Those who came to the Gacaca, are they back in communities? Yes. Pan-African. Is it homogeneous? No. It is unique. What is applicable amongst the Asante is not necessarily so among the Zulu. Unity in the
Hi, John Mosquito.
diversity. That is in the area of law. Medicine. Recently, what are we teaching? You know,
Habari yangu ni nzuri. Naona ulisoma Kiswahili vyema. Nashukuru. I said for those who are here on Swahili class, on the Swahili class on Saturday, if you kindly are coming back to comments, rather say greetings in Swahili. I need to understand you guys did learn a thing or two. 2 hours of classes, and I think you should have captured a word or two. So if you come in here to comment, like John Mosquito, shout out to you. You know, start with habari yako, which he said very well. Yangu nzuri ya kwako sijui kwa kama uko mwema. To all of you too. I'm waiting.
Medical schools. Is there something Pan-African about it? No. The greatest claim
to you, Matthew Munyao.
Claim of an African doctor is that I went to the London School of Tropical Medicine. And when they say it, they shake their head. Is there anything wrong with it? But I am urging you, if you ever want to get sick in Europe, don't have malaria. Choose another disease. Because you then become a medical curiosity. They don't know how to deal with it. I'm sure some of you have found themselves in such a space. They don't. But I'm making research here. Right now in Africa, the most famous research that is going on malaria vaccine is by the University of Oxford. They are funding it. It is we who should be funding that because it is something that is common to us.
We don't even need VACCINE. We know that we have natural remedies that can help you. If we really just go back to true African cultures and practices, we do have natural remedies that you can use to cure malaria. You don't need all these synthetic made up researches of type of medicines to come and help you. You don't need them. I've shared this before, or that was last year, the South African women who still practice some cultural practices like, using herbs. And Keith did share one with me. I think she was Jamaican. She's 140, Jamaican or South African. She's 140 years and she still looks very strong. I think when you go back to, when you say why now Africans' lives have been shortened, it's because we discuss this every day. What we drink, what we eat, our environment as well, what we breathe out, the air we breathe in. It's a lot. We need to take care of ourselves, but majority we have no choice at the same time, because the foods we're taking majority right now is so contaminated with a lot of things. Even the meat we're eating right now, we don't even, how sure are we eating meat anymore? I know for America, majority of you, you have to be very, very keen with what you're taking. Very, very keen. For Africa, we're still safe, but I can't say we're really, really that safe. When they talk about drought, you can imagine what our animals are eating. There's a time I shared a video on WhatsApp of what our cows are always consuming outside there. The same cows, you'll find them on the butchery. That's the meat you're taking, you know. You eat, you ask yourself, what's up? I didn't eat in a hotel. I didn't eat outside. I did cut my own vegetables. I did everything by myself. Like, what's really happening? Our foods are really contaminated. So I believe as much as, and we were saying yesterday, that was on Friday, how I came to discover for real that, you know, our bodies have the capability of healing themselves. At the same time, we need to still treat our bodies very well. We need to go back to, so I don't support him saying that, as much as he's saying that, you know, it's been funded, research is being done on Oxford University, being funded with the ones to fund it. I still don't promote Africans actually trying to come up with different types of VACCINEs. We should come up with different natural remedies that should help us. That is what we used to be, you know. That is us. That is Pan-Africanism.
Herbal medicine. Have we mainstreamed herbal medicine?
Thank you.
No. Last year, you know, a number of children died out of cough syrup in Gambia.
In Gambia.
Many of them out of some cough syrup medicine that was made in India.
Yeah.
And the government of the Gambia has now hired an American law firm to represent them.
Yeah. Actually, it was Indian. It was first an Indian law firm. I'm surprised they turned it to American law firm. Shout out to Gambia government. I mean, what is the president doing? What is the president of Gambia doing? Who's going to be answerable for this death? Because they tried blinding the people by first paying them some ransoms. No, some reparations, reparation money or compensation money. We need to compensate you for the death of your children. And I'm glad the Gambians said no. But are they going to be helped? I bet not, because the case is not even on the Gambian law. Not even the government itself. So, come on.
Pan-Africanism. So you can see, and recently during COVID, you could see when the Malagasy Institute of Applied Science came up with a medication, COVID organic. How many ordered it? Only 2 countries. 3, I think. John Joseph Magufuli in Tanzania, Equatorial
and they killed him.
Guinea, and I think Ghana doubled with it. But we have more faith.
Ghana, I think Ghana, they did expire, if I'm not wrong. I don't know. Let me see if, as we continue with that. I don't know if Ghana.
Let me see. AstraZeneca, Moderna, Sputnik. And I asked at one time, does the Bureau of Standardization in any of our African countries have a standard for those vaccines? No. And why have you all been vaccinated? By faith. By faith. Because you don't know. So you can see that, but herbal medicine, and I'm saying this because this is Pan-Africanism. You go to India and look at Ayurveda, mainstream.
Ghana did receive the COVID-19 VACCINEs. It did. So what is Professor Lumumba talking? The only country we know that backed out was John Magufuli. I don't even know about Equatorial Guinea. You guys, did you know about Equatorial Guinea backing out from the VACCINEs? I didn't personally. I only know John Magufuli, and that is the only president we saw them going after, because it didn't abide by the law of the white supremacy. So the rest of these countries this guy mentions, I didn't see them. I didn't see any other president being announced dead because of unknown circumstances, because of not following the COVID-19 laws. Come on. Oh, because of a heart attack. They said it was a heart attack for Magufuli. It was just Tanzania.
They have mainstreamed their own medication. And people now go to health farms in India.
Actually, Ghana was the first country. Ghana was the first. We are pleased. This is what that is the Ghana Health Ministry Service. that was giving this information. We are very pleased that Ghana has become the first country to receive the COVID-19 VACCINEs from COVAX facility. It was the first African country. So come on, be better. Be better.
You go to China, they have mainstreamed their own medication. But you talk about African medicine, that was witch doctors. African doctors are witch doctors.
Exactly, that is true, and that is still a norm in Africa. When you consume actually the herbal medications, you're considered so backward, very backward. You're considered actually someone who's from the rural area, who still has some rural area cultures. You know, you're still very, very. You're a village girl or a village boy, a village man, or a village woman. Like, you don't know the city life. So, you know, that is true. And this is also considered as witchcraft. I used to see, I have so many siblings. I used to see my siblings every time one of them is born. One of my aunties, she believed very heavy on herbal medicines, and which is one of the main reasons I'd say that personally I stayed out of the hospital. I never used to be that kid to be taken to the hospital all the times, because I grew up with a lot of herbal medications, you know, both with my mom and my dad, and also with the people I grew up with. Like, I had a lot of herbal medication access. But I used to see, when I came to Nairobi, like when I met my siblings now, each of them being born, I used to see there's this medication that it's boiled. It's like some leaves. You boil them. It has to be used by both the mom and the kid to protect them from, I don't know what energy, but it is like cleansing, you know, direct from the hospital. Then there's that boiled leaves water that you have to wash yourself, you know, washing yourself, like, you know, with soap and, you know, a scrubber. That is what you use, like, you know, you and your baby. And then from there, you can now use the soap and the scrubber and everything, like, for just protection. And I don't know, somehow I think it used to work. I don't know if exactly, I can't remember exactly what it used to be for. Or they can also maybe cut your skin and put the medication inside the skin. It's mostly practiced by the Western people of Kenya. I don't know if, I think also Sudanese, the South Sudan or the Sudan people do practice it, because if you look at the Sudan culture and the people, they do actually have a lot of cut on their skin. So most of them, if you ask them what it is for, it was for medication purposes or maybe cultural practices. So, yep, it's something great to learn.
Black magic. So I'm saying, why are we not teaching this? Go into engineering. Right now, in every African country, what you see are Chinese. We have been producing engineers in the thousands. But what do you see?
Exactly. That is what Keith was talking about the other day when you're talking about the expressway road being flooded. That is actually the most expensive road in East Africa. It was ranked like that. That was last year, remember? But it is the most poorest roads in terms of drainage. We can see people dying from actually this particular road. It is a road that we're supposed to be paying for the next 25 years, which costed us actually 100 billion Kenyan shillings. Quite a lot of money. We still have the SGR, which is supposed to be paying for I don't know how many next years. In 2022, we had a billion that was paid to unknown investors, unknown people, which was supposed to be paying. We were supposed to be paying for the SGR debt. But this money ended up landing unknown people. If you guys can remember, we reported that in 2022. And this was just something till to date. It's nobody followed up. Our system never bothered to follow up. We don't know who got this money, but it's crazy. And whatever he's saying, it is true. We have just nothing but Chinese development. When you talk about Africa developing, when they attend this summit, this is something else we need answers for. Why do you talk about Africa development, but it's not Africans participating in the development? Why do we need to see Chinese constructions, contractors, and engineers, the ones performing here in Kenya? And then when you talk about them performing here in Kenya, during the weekend, we had racism. We saw another video going viral. Let me share this very quickly. This is their behavior. And then someone said, shame on you, Oga Obina. Shame on you. Saying that if this is Kenya, this is not going to change. If this is happening in Kenya, this is not going to change. And my question to you is, till when should this become a norm? And that is an African man talking like that boldly, who has kids, probably looking forward to be transporting them to China or somewhere to work, with the African mentality you have. And then you say, if this is Kenya, this is happening, it's not going to change. So you're trying to say that we should normalize seeing Chinese people coming here, being given all the contract, all the engineering jobs, work done shit in terms of development. But this should become a norm. Nobody should talk about this. No one should rant about, no one should correct any white man, any white type of looking white man in Africa. Shame on us. It is such a shame on us. But let me share this very quickly as I get to wind up. And of course, family, do remember to come back and show Iwaton Love. She shall be coming back right here with Let's Pop with Iwaton. That is the name of our show, Let's Pop. She shall be talking about Africa culture, Africa amazing history. So tune in and see what today's show is all about, and show up and show some love. This is what was happening during the weekend, where a Chinese man was captured insulting our very own. Okay, and it is always the audacity of men, the other men seated there looking. But I do understand, if you do beat up the Chinese man, you're gonna end up on the wrong hands. You're gonna be the one, oh, you assaulted them. But they don't look at the fact that you were assaulted first. It was self-defense, or you trying to defend your person, defend your friend. This man literally was almost threw off a cliff just because of racism. We gotta do better. We got to do better. Let me share my screen very quickly. These people who keep on, this is so pissing. They nothing but just fish and noodles. But imagine, we can't beat them up. We can't beat them up because the law protects them. Huh? I can't beat up a Chinese, an Indian, a white man because my law, my Kenyan law or African law protects this man. Do you know how disgusting this is? Do you know how pathetic this is? This is crazy. People who keep on eating noodles and fish and rice. And I'm eating ugali. You give me a comparison. God damn it. Literally is holding him. I don't know which floor this is, but this is a construction. Of course, you can see this at a constructing site, probably a building they were building. They had a disagreement, and he's literally holding him in a way that you can push him from there, and he's gonna walk away with murder. Have you seen the British government? The British soldiers, what they do? This is disgusting. This is disgusting. And Oga Obina again said, it is Kenya. Nothing will be done. And I'm glad the people who supported my comment over there. Yeah, it is Kenya. So we should continue making it a norm. We should continue making it a norm because it is Kenya. Because it is Africa, and Africans, we should continue being treated weak people. I don't know, man. Something Big Cheese said, it is a high time a decision is made, okay? Either I rule or you rule. It's a decision that is going to have to be made. And it's going to have to be a tough decision. Because I'm not going to be in the bottom. I'm not. I refuse. I refuse. Okay? Anyone treating me like a weakling? Hell no. We refuse. We refuse. It's so many things we need to be so bitter about and go on a revolution. So many things, we tell you, so many things. So many things. And if you're out there thinking that literally, politics doesn't run you, shame on those people I literally met during the weekend. You know, you think you're talking to a whole grown-up person. No, you're talking to kids outside there majority of the time. So many people are so childish, not ready for the truth. They're not ready for the truth. Not ready to take shit serious. And such kind of people you drop, you know? Such kind of people you walk away from such energy. And I agree at the same time when you say we can't save everyone. We won't be able to save everyone, especially our own. We won't be able to, I think we won't be able to save majority. We might be majority of those who are going to be saved, but still majority are not going to be saved. But anyway, that's why I wrap it up. I see John Mosquito says, can they go back later and finish him? Personally, my advice was, when such kind of situations happen, Africans need to put down the phone, okay? Enough of the recordings and everything with the evidences. We don't need enough with it, okay? It's a high time you knock someone out. The disrespect has become too much. Too much. These, how many videos now? This is another video had it on YouTube, okay? We're gonna look on YouTube, a Chinese man beating up an African man, and you'll see a whole long queue in in Kenya, in Uganda, in Nigeria, in Ghana, in Libya, in Liberia, everywhere in the and even outside the African continent itself. And then you still want to show teeth. You still want to show teeth. Someone yesterday asked me, why do I walk always just not smiling? I don't have time to smile. Why? What am I smiling for? For who? Why? I'm going to smile here, right here, when I'm having good conversations. But most of the times you don't need to be showing teeth. You're showing teeth to the wrong people. And that's why you're so taken and serious. I'm not going to be smiling just anyhow. I got serious things to do. I got real life to handle. Come on. And I also see John was going to say, Joby, I meant to go back to... What? I don't know what you mean. Oh, okay. Nah, we're not going to do that. I don't know. We're not going to do that. Nah, we're not becoming friends with these people. But anyway, family, this is how we wrap it up. Asanteni sana. I want to rant more. That video just made me mad. I'd almost forgotten about it until Professor Lumumba mentioned of us having producing engineers, but we're always having Chinese engineers coming and taking over the African continent. And this is how they come treat us. And then you tell me, we've been having these videos always been recorded, circulating online. Our government don't see this. You're so blind. You want to tell me you don't know what is happening on the internet in your country? Go to the gym and reduce some weight, goddamn. These people are just so boring. Anyway, trying to have a good month and a good week. Much love. Asanteni sana. And have an amazing rest part of your day. See you guys later on the Rhythm Scoop Show. Iwaton is coming back in a few with Let's Pop. And of course, check out what she's going to be discussing. Have an amazing rest part of your day. We are not promoting violence, but sometimes please stop acting weak, man. Defend yourself when you can, okay? Learn when to say no, for crying out loud, African people. Come on. Even sometimes a chicken, when it doesn't want to be slaughtered, it runs away. You can't always be giving your neck. Okay, yes, master, slaughter me. It's my time to die. Come on, be better.